Hi guys. Today I want to talk to you guys about the summer. And the summer always for me was like time for vacation, time to really enjoy your friends, your family, travel, go around the world, etc. But, you know, as the summer gets closer, we are bombarded by so many ads and marketing and people telling us drop 12 pounds in 2 weeks and get bikini ready. So many gym classes. I get it. People have to make a living, but they all remind us every single day, sign up now to my classes because there's still enough time for you to look incredible in that bikini. And it really messed with my head all my life. And this is the first summer of my life that I genuinely don't give a fuck. And that's why I'm making this video, because in a week I'm gonna be going to Lebanon and I'm gonna spend time at the beach. I am going to have a really good summer, try to enjoy myself. It's my first little break since building Mila Mend, believe it or not. Like, I work every single day, Saturday, Sunday, even on my birthday, because I love it. I'm not complaining. But, a break is needed. And every summer of my life, I have never felt comfortable in my skin for many reasons. And I want to talk about them today because now that my mindset has dramatically changed and improved, it's the first time that I'm just so happy and looking forward to going to the beach, not having to search online for bikinis that will cinch my waist or have any shapewear to them. It's the first summer that I'm not really trying to hide myself. And I want to first talk about it from the perspective of somebody who has PCOS, because whoa, the summer is a time where you're wearing less clothing. You have less layers. You want to show your skin. You want to tan. It is hot. You want to wear tank tops. But as someone who genetically, I do have very strong Mexican and Italian roots that I credit for my very thick and dark hair. Well, and my eyebrows, something I tell everybody is, yes, having eyebrows this thick is incredible. Finally, thank you, Cara Delevingne and Brooke Shields. But they come with baggage. You are gonna have thick hair everywhere. And that was the case for me all of my life. Like, I came out of the womb with eyebrows. But through puberty, I started to have an abnormal amount of hair all over my body and especially on my face. Having the beginning of a beard, really thick, a mustache, PCOS. But I thought it was always my genetics. And regardless, these genetics plus PCOS, my hair got thicker. It grew much more to the point where summer was the most dreaded time of the year for me because I would have to shave. From having to only worry about shaving my face and, my underarms, it now became a daily task of having to shave my entire arms, try to shave my back, all of my legs, every single day, and my stomach. It's not that I had hair on my body. Body hair is completely normal. And I know that there's many women who are empowering this no-shave movement. But personally, the amount of hair that I actually had, I don't even have pictures because I would never let myself be photographed if, I didn't shave that day. The amount of hair I had did not make me feel comfortable because I, most of the time, was the hairiest one in the room, even in a room full of men. And that really messed with my self-confidence, my body image. And the summer for me was a time of shame, irritation, because, waxing, plucking, shaving every single day, shaving back to back because the hair growth is so fast. It was horrible. Like, I would have ingrown hairs everywhere, razor burn, then putting that on the sun, it was burning. It was not a time I would ever look forward to. But finally, I hit 18 years old and I literally begged and cried for my parents to please help me pay for laser sessions. And I did laser on my arms and on my legs. I used the machine Candela to the specific setting of my Fitzpatrick type, I think, my skin and my hair type. And guys, I only did 5 sessions, and I have to shave every few days, and it's very little amount of hair. Like, I consider myself hairless now, and I never thought I would not have to worry about these things, but investing in laser was one of the best things I ever did. I keep it up today with an IPL machine. It really does work when you're consistent. I've gotten lazy, and then it's like, woo, the hair woke up again. But it has definitely made a significant difference in my confidence. Yes, I only did 2 body parts. I want to do my back, I want to do my stomach, I want to do, so many more areas. But first of all, it's expensive. And second of all, as of today, I've become more confident in my skin. I'm with also a partner who sees body hair as completely normal, so that was a gift from the gods. Thank you very much. And that's all I tend to. But I did have my summers before I ever got laser. That was something that really affected my self-esteem. You would never catch me in a tank top. If anything, it was like a very long t-shirt, like oversized, or I would be in a long sleeve, a very thin long sleeve. And now I'm so happy that I can finally, be more confident in my skin and wear tank tops, not really have to worry about the type of shirt that I'm gonna wear to cover myself. So for sure, that's been a massive improvement. But that's not the end. When you have PCOS, a hormonal imbalance, or a thyroid condition, it's very difficult to have a good body image. And by this, I mean we have a tendency to carry more weight than others. And that was my case when my condition really started to flare and I started to pack on the weight. I dreaded wearing shorts. I dreaded showing my legs. I didn't want to show my arms. I kind of went backwards again. And I was so self-conscious. I would wear the most loose pants, a very loose t-shirt, and try to make it fashionable any way that I could. And when it came to going to the beach, I was so anxious because I knew that whoever I was going with, friends, family, or Lucas, I would try to find a bathing suit that could cover up as many insecurities of mine as I could. That was very difficult. That was also comfortable and flattering. And even like trying to find that bathing suit, going into the fitting rooms and trying it on, it was always so demoralizing. Like, I could cry in the fitting rooms. I didn't let myself, but I really left with a bitter taste in my mouth, which would trigger a negative relationship with myself and a negative relationship with my food. And that's where I would give in to all this marketing, give in to all of these people, like, buy my program, you'll be fit before your vacation, whatever. And I would go on these crazy diets, or I would go and purchase this insane meal plan, try it out for like a week, and then of course I would be exhausted and I would give up. It was just like this cycle, this very vicious cycle, that at the end of the day, I felt like I was a failure, that I was defective. Food was the enemy, I was lazy, and this was just my bad luck. And obviously that was not the case. Wanting to change the way you look and not being happy with your body image, it's so much more deeper than just enrolling into a weight loss program. There's so much more issues that stem from it. You have to get to the root cause. But in that moment, I didn't know about it because nobody would speak about it. I would only see either the body positivity movement or, the hardcore gym people saying, you're lazy, you're not tracking your calories correctly, you're not doing it right, and all these things. But where was that fine line between, hey, you actually have a disorder, you have to check your hormones, your fatigue is literally impeding you from doing what you want because you're carrying so much baggage, and it's 10 times more difficult for you than any other normal and healthy person. You're not seeing results because your body needs help, and maybe right now it's not what you need to be focusing on. You actually have to be focusing on nourishing yourself. I never heard that. I only internalized that I was the issue, that I was not looking good because of my fault, that food was the enemy, I have to work harder at the gym, and then stemmed a terrible relationship with myself, with the gym, with my food, and I was unhappy. And so I would find myself, being miserable from the time I purchased the swimsuit to the arrival of the beach day. Many days I would do anything I could to avoid going to the beach. I would say, oh, let's go hiking or let's discover something else. Like I would try to really distance myself as much as possible from a pool and from the beach because I was just not comfortable. And the few times that I did work up the courage, I would make sure I would be like the last one to get in. And I would try to like track people and see like, okay, are they looking away? Because when they look away, I'll get up and I'll like run in the ocean. Or when they look away, I'm gonna jump in the pool because I didn't want anybody to look at me. And that has been a core memory for me all of my life. And on top of this, I spoke about it a very long time ago, but I got diagnosed with a lymphatic issue on my legs. I mean, it's a whole body issue, but I went to many doctors from the moment I had a very, very big flare of my PCOS, everything. The pictures you guys have seen where I was really in a bad place, that's what I call my flare. So when this was happening, I had never had issues with my legs in the past. I've been able to tolerate heat very well. I grew up in Texas. Like, we know how to tolerate the heat. And out of nowhere, walks started to become very painful. My legs would be burning and extremely swollen. Like I would have to put my legs up the wall every day. I still do. And they would swell up to the point where I wouldn't have knees. My calves would be very, very big. My ankles would just swell. And I started to go to doctors and they all were like, drink more water. I swear to God, like I shit you not. I went to an incredible nutritionist, doctor, internist, whatever. He told me, drink more water. And as I made my rounds, I've never found somebody that has been able to direct me and guide me until I came across TikTok. Thank God for TikTok. It's insane how so many of us have found the answers to so many of our mystery illnesses because of that app. So, wow. I saw this woman who was getting surgery for her legs, and the before and after was incredible. But that's not what I needed, I don't want to get surgery. But when I went on her profile, she had like the pinned videos of how she found out she had lipedema and the symptoms. And when I started to see her story, I was like, oh my God, this is literally me. To give you guys an example, one of the things that has always bothered me about my legs is the fact that they, like when I walk, it's not that the term jiggle is correct, it's just they move a lot and they don't look tight or toned. Even when I was my thinnest and I was exercising, I was doing a lot of resistance training, I had a really good trainer, I looked great from the top, but my legs always had like a crazy loss of collagen. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Some doctors told me it was that, and that was just, genetic, and having a lot of cellulite for my age was genetic. And I coined that to be just, my body. It was still a big insecurity of mine, but I never thought much of it because, again, doctors didn't tell me anything. But when I went through my flare, my legs went downhill significantly. Like if I had a few issues before that I didn't even like really mind, it kind of exploded. My calves, my ankles, my thighs were much bigger than they had ever been. I thought it was just normal weight gain from my flare and having estrogen dominance, because it is quite normal to be bottom heavy and, carry weight around your hips, your butt, your thighs. Like it's fine, it's also genetic. I thought that was my body type and that was my issue. But even after I had resolved all of that and I had lost a lot of weight from, resolving my issues, I still carried the majority of my weight on my legs. And though I did lose weight, my before and after pictures, my legs are very fucking similar. Like there was not that big of a change, like minuscule. And again, I thought that was just me and that was going to be fine. But the pain is something that became unbearable I had to cut my walks short. I had to learn to use compression socks. I finally came across compression socks and I would use them on every single walk. But come summer, you cannot put on compression socks in the summer when it's really hot. Like, you suffocate with those socks and it's itchy and it's Today I'm doing much better, but before today, these past summers, I couldn't tolerate the heat well. I was absolutely miserable when it came to my legs, and it fueled an even bigger issue with my body image and my self-esteem, because this time, yeah, I was not the most comfortable with my body just like before, but my legs, though they didn't look healthy from the swelling, like you could not see my knees, they were really painful. And when you don't feel comfortable about a part of your body, and that part of your body is also hurting, it's difficult. But I'm very optimistic, and I try to keep going. I try to think about better things. I think about all the good that my legs do for me. I'm so grateful to have both of my legs. You know, I quickly get myself out of that mindset. But it got to the point where people around me were starting to notice, and I went to get my nails done. I got a pedicure, and a woman at the salon was like, "Oh my God, you have some of the biggest calves I've ever seen. They're horrible." I was with Lucas, and I was so shocked by what she said. I literally just looked at her and I go, "Yeah, it's something I have to deal with. Thanks for letting me know." You know, I didn't even know how to respond. I mean, in the moment I said, "Yeah, I mean, it's not the best. It's something I have to deal with, but they're my calves." And, you know, I was getting my nails done and my pedicure. Guys, I was trying to fight back the tears, and it was so fucking difficult. I am so strong, guys. Like, I never ever cry in public. I don't like to cry. And I'm really good at not crying. Like, I'm so good at that. But this was so much bigger than me. And I had always put down this insecurity. I had never talked about it with anybody. And when that scenario happened, and I was literally like publicly shamed in front of also like the ladies that were doing my nails, guys, I couldn't hold it back. I just start to lose it and I start to cry. And I tell them, "Guys, I need to go in the bathroom and just cry. I'll be back." Like, they understood. They felt so bad for me. But holy shit, like, I could not stop crying. I was like, you know the cry when you have to wail and you have to like really like, not even ugly cry, like the next level from that. Like, you have to scream and just let something out of you that you didn't even know you had in you. Yeah, well, I had that cry and I thought this only happened to children or like in a tragedy. Lucas was in the lobby, so he comes in because he hears me crying. He comes into the bathroom and immediately like just starts holding me and hugging me, telling me that like it's okay. He was so fucking scared. He had no idea what just happened. I tried to tell him, but it's like the cry that you can't even speak because you're like like it was really sad. And every time he's like, "Okay, are you ready? Like, let's come out," because then they start to knock because they wanted to know if we were okay. The fucking manager of the place is now knocking outside the door of like the bathroom. And every time Lucas was like, "Let's go out," I would start another, I would cry even harder. And it was really difficult. But, you know, I got back on the chair after crying for a pretty long time in there. And I couldn't. I just kept crying and I kept crying. So, you know, I just got up. I left with my nails not even done. Paid. Got the fuck out with Lucas. Cried even more when we got in the car. And I told him, you know, it's one of my biggest insecurities. I don't know what's happening to my body. I hate it. It's painful. They don't look good. And that was it, you know. Lucas has literally been the backbone of why my mental health has been so well. Like, since I met him, he doesn't ever let me feel bad about myself, not once. And obviously, like, the rest of the trip, he was so fucking kind to me. He would massage my legs because I finally told him like how much they hurt me. And every single day he would just like, after we would go out, he would sit in the couch with me and he's like, okay, give me your legs. And he would just like massage them so they would feel better. And he like learned how to do like a lymphatic technique. And he's been so incredible. So I finally had someone to speak to about this. And that was like probably the most incredible part that changed everything. Because, not being able to share my secret, I didn't have to hold the weight of it just by myself. And from there, I started to be more vocal about it. I started to look into what it could be. I come across the woman on TikTok. And the reason she caught my eye is because she has PCOS. And I was like, wait, maybe there's a connection. And lo and behold, lipedema. There is, like most things, we don't know the root cause. It can be genetic. It can be due to gaining a lot of weight. It can be due to being obese or going through a hormonal imbalance. It can trigger it, having something like PCOS, etc. And when I went to her videos on her diagnostic criteria and how she figured out she had it, I literally applied it myself. I reached out to her doctor, who is one of the leading surgeons and doctors for lipedema in Spain. I scheduled a call with him. I sent him the pictures and my symptoms. We talked about it, and he goes, yeah, you have a very, very high likelihood of having lipedema. In fact, I would just say you do, because there's no thing you can do to cure it, but you can definitely manage it. And right now, I'm like at stage 0 to 1. And I'm so grateful that I figured this out today, because now not only everything makes sense, but I know that I have to focus on preventing my lipedema from progressing to the next stage. And so here's the thing. When the summer approaches, the summer can be times where it's very difficult for those of us who don't have the best relationship with our body. For those of us who have hirsutism, more body hair than others. I forgot to cover also acne, body acne, acne on the back of your thighs. Like, I've had that too. I've had acne all over my body. It can be very difficult for us to enjoy the summer and enjoy, being in less clothes, being in the ocean like everybody else. And, it's also a time where you really compare yourself to other people who don't have those issues. It's tough. And for those of us that have issues, with their weight loss journey, and they're trying very hard to stick to a routine, to lose the weight that they've gained, having a deadline sometimes can be one of the most detrimental things in your journey. When you put deadlines on yourself, at least for me, I always fail. And so something that I've told a lot of girls that I've actually worked with in the past, as their health coach, I'm not doing that right now because I'm too busy. I would not be able to give you guys any value truly, or the value that I want to give you guys. But when I did work with those girls, they were telling me, the summer's coming and I'm so anxious because I want to look better. How can I do it? And I told them, forget about the summer, forget about the deadline, focus on having a yearly goal. Don't put pressure on yourself, because that's going to add to the stress and it's going to add to the vicious cycle. So many of us who have PCOS, have metabolic syndrome, and just have difficulty with our weight, my number one recommendation is to stop putting deadlines on yourself. If the summer comes by and you've lost weight and you feel better, great. But if the summer has come by and you're still in the same place, it doesn't matter, because it's just a small season in your life. You're gonna have so many summers. In the grand scheme of things, healthy weight loss takes minimum 6 months. So don't go into those crash diets, crash programs, 75 hard. Please remember that you're actually going through a harder time than others. Do not compare yourself to a healthy woman that doesn't have any of the issues that you have. You have to go through fatigue. You have to go through blood sugar drops and rises that your body can't regulate like that person you're comparing to. It is much more difficult for you to stick to a gym routine, not because you're lazy. I can make a more detailed video about this if you guys want, but it is much more difficult for us to be in a calorie deficit, because it's difficult for us to meet the deficit having insatiable cravings, having insulin resistance, and IBS, and also having to go through all the BS of the wellness industry feeding us 100 diets. And at the same time, it's difficult for us to meet that energy expenditure because we have chronic fatigue. We have a harder time getting up in the morning, doing those tasks. We even fidget less. We literally subconsciously start to move less because our body is literally telling us to slow down. Sometimes that weight loss goal is the last thing that should be on your list for your body to get better. And now, for any of you that deal with lymphatic issues, with lipedema, who are not comfortable with your body type or just, any part of your body, the catalyst and the thing that helped me the most this year, finally, on how I'm actually looking forward to going to the beach, wearing the shorts, I don't give a fuck anymore, is the fact that I'm no longer ashamed of it. I don't care about my cellulite. I don't care about the fact that my legs swell, especially in the heat. I don't care that they're going to be painful. I am not going to let this part of my body slow me down and not let me go into the beautiful ocean and enjoy and laugh. I literally don't have the headspace to give a fuck about these issues anymore because I have spent too many fucking years caring about what other people think, hiding myself to avoid somebody else having the same thought that I have of myself. And most of the fucking time, they are doing the same exact thing to themselves. They're not even worried about you, and they don't even care. I've been too judgmental on myself. Nobody is ever going to remember you because of that insecurity of yours that you're trying to hide. I mean, even if you show it, if that person ever brings it up or refers to you, oh yeah, the girl with the hairy arms, like that's what they would tell me. Oh yeah, the girl with the big legs. That is someone that literally just revealed themselves to you as a piece of shit, and you should block them out of your life. They should not be in your life. And I don't care if that's a family member, if that's a friend or a boyfriend, a girlfriend, any relationship, if someone ever brings up an insecurity of yours, refers to you in a very demeaning way, goodbye. Because you should only be surrounded by people that support you. The way that Luca supported me and literally consoled me when I told him about this body part that really bothers me. And now how he empowers me and he tells me it's totally fine, it's totally normal, what about your legs? Like, it doesn't even matter. At the end of the day, it's the last thing that he thinks about and cares about, That's the type of people that you want around you. That's the type of people that are going to help you be more comfortable in your body. And if you don't have that type of person, you have me, because I will be that person for you. Being able to share my vulnerabilities in this episode with you guys, at the same time, as I say everything, it's empowering me even much more, because I know for a fact that there's so many of you that are watching this that are going to resonate with it, and you're hopefully going to feel less alone, and you're going to know that in another part of the world, a girl is going through the exact same thing as you. Yes, there's ways that you can do laser, you can change your lifestyle and reach that goal that you want to reach with your body and whatever, but do you have to do that? Absolutely not. You don't have to do any of that. That comes down to self-preference, but know that deep down in the end, those things that are so superficial, the people that you should have around you, they don't care about those things. So with all my advice and all my love in my heart, that's my number one advice. Block the people on social media that say anything else. Block the people in your life that tease you for it or say anything else. And focus on only surrounding yourself by those who actually understand that life is not all about your fucking looks, that life is complicated for everybody else, that life is not easy for every single person, like those of us who have to deal with syndromes and disorders. You want to be surrounded by those people that care about you for who you are and that will empower you and help you lead a happier life. So guys, there's 1 month left of summer. I wish I would have done this video before, but I just genuinely did not even think of it. And I hope that whenever you feel bad about yourself or you have any of the insecurities that I talked about or other ones, know that you are not alone. There's so many women going through the exact same thing as you. Also men, every single human on this planet. And please do not hide yourself, because you are so beautiful. I sure as hell am not gonna do it anymore. I'm gonna walk in that fucking ocean in front of everyone and I don't give a fuck. In that mentality, we are throwing it away because we're never gonna allow ourselves to go down that vicious cycle. Food is not the enemy. The gym is not the enemy. Our mentality is the enemy. And the first step to ever healing a body is learning how to love it, because you cannot heal a body that you don't love. I think that summarizes what I wanted to say. I love you guys so much, and I cannot wait to make content from Lebanon. That's going to be so much fun. I got my camera and I'm going to do some vlogs there, show you guys what I do there. I'm still going to be working, but it's going to be so fun showing you the beautiful, beautiful country of Lebanon. And yeah, and I'll see you in the next episode.